Hi all, Ross here, Thomas Classic and Modern. Welcome back to the channel. A little bit of an ad hoc video today. We have been asked many times the procedure for oil pressure build, first startup, retorquing of cylinder head, breaking the cam in and everything else. I have done some videos before on this in the past. But we're going to do a little bit of a revisit of it because we have the opportunity to. Like we say all along, all of our videos are as and when we have the opportunity to. So what we've got is a engine sat here ready in our test bed. This has, I've literally just filled it up with the break-in oil and thought, do you know what? While I got the opportunity, let's get a video done. So first thing I'm going to do is build the oil pressure. This hasn't done anything at all yet. I've literally just put the oil in it. Okay, so we built it, put the oil in it, and we're about now to build the oil pressure, spin it over. We'll show you how quick the oil pressure, hopefully he says, comes up with one of our Thomas Tolerance oil pumps in. This is running the Joe Gibbs break-in oil. So I'm just going to whip spark plugs out first of all, connect up our battery, and we'll spin it over and get some oil pressure built. Right, so we'll just whip the plugs out. They're loose anyway because obviously we knew we had to do this. And we'll get those out of the way a second. Pop those up there. I think we are all pretty much rigged up. If I'm honest, I know I've got to bleed the clutch yet on the test bed. That's not a problem. I've disconnected the fuel pump, so I don't like this. This test bed runs an electric pump with a regulator. I don't like having that running when I'm only cranking over. And our ignition is turned off, so we got no firing as such. So let's get the battery connected. Our slave battery. And we shall spin it over. And hopefully you'll be able to see the oil pressure come up on the gauge there. And this is the oil that we have in it. Get my words out. This is the oil that we have in it. Customer supplied this for us upon very good advice. So that is what we have in there to do the first startup and the camshaft break-in. Right, okay. Eagle-eyed of you will notice it's now dark outside. It's generally what happens when you start filming here. Somebody calls in, customer rings, customer calls in, or just something goes on. As it happens, we got a SPI in with an electrical fault that I need to go and have a look at. So, where were we? Right, I put the plugs back in because that disappeared over there. So let's get these plugs back out again and let's get on with the oil pressure build. Needless to say, we won't be running this one up now tonight. We'll leave that until first thing in the morning. So if you notice that the video goes light in a minute, that's because it's a new day. Right, that's those out of the way. Okay, let's get back to where we were. Let's connect the battery. That's on, that's on. Ignition's off. Plugs are out. Okay, let's see what we got. I like to do a couple of short bursts just to get things circulating. There we go. There we go, 75 psi on cranking, there or thereabouts. What I usually do now, we'll cut to that in a second, is I'm going to leave that for 10 minutes or so. I like to make sure that the pressure drains back down and then comes back up again. Right, okie doke, so there we go. We've just left that sort of 15 minutes or so now. Let the pressure and the oil drain back down. So we'll just build that up again. Boom, straight away. There we go. That's that. Oil pressure built. So I'm going to leave that there now for one day. As you can see, it's now turned into night. And we'll revisit this in the morning. We'll do our first startup and we'll see where we go from there. So, see you in a sec. Okay, as if by magic, different day. Much later in the day than we expected, but yet again, that's how these things go. We are ready now to do the first fire up on this engine. So, first fire up procedure briefly for us before we get stuck into it. We have connected, tightened up all spark plugs, connected up all the ignition leads, fuel pumps collected, dashpot oil in the carburetor. This thing is ready to go. What we have done is no coolant. So again, this is one of the reasons I'm revisiting this video a little bit. We get lots of questions about first startups, head gasket procedures and everything else. So I'm going to try and cover it all in this video. So first thing to do, fire it up. We need to check that the timing is somewhere near sensible for this initial start. This is running electronic ignition. So we've got timing light rigged up. We've got our Innovate AFR meter rigged up as well. All over there, ready to go. We've got our infrared thermometer rigged up because we don't have any temperature gauge on this particular setup yet. So that is where we're going to be with it. And lo and behold, we have another visitor. So give me 2 secs. Be back in a minute. Okay, back again. We just come up with an idea. We think we're going to do a video at some point of a day in the life of me or us at Thomas Classic and Modern. Sometimes the amount of things that you try and do that take you 5 times as long is unbelievable. But hey, it's all good fun. Right, so first startup. We're going to want to set the ignition time in. We haven't got a vacuum pipe connected. We're going to want to set the ignition time in first of all for this short startup to make sure it's okay then going forward. We will take a quick look at what the mixture is doing at the same point. But the key with this startup is get it running and make sure that you get some heat into this end of the cylinder head. So you will probably see when I'm running it up that I'm touching this end of the cylinder head to get some heat through the block with no coolant running through the galleries. The reason we do that is to let the sticky coating that's on the head gasket, this is running a BK450, to let the sticky coating go sticky almost and sort of flow out self-level and all that sort of thing. But what I'm going to do, which I've never actually done before, and the reason I've got this to hand is because obviously my idea of hot to touch might be different to yours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take a little bit of a measurement with this infrared thermometer of what we get that end of the cylinder head up to do that initial head gasket settling. That's the plan. I'm going to see if we can get it to fire up first of all. Don't expect it to turnkey and fire up. that doesn't happen. This is a fresh build. It's not the original carburetor. It's a fully rebuilt carburetor. It's not the original distributor. It's a it's brand new distributor, recurved the suit. So all of this is going to be on the fly adjustments to get it to fire. Not in any way, shape or form at the minute a turnkey motor. When it leaves us, it will be, with the fueling set sensibly and the timing set sensibly. But this is first start. So that's where we're going to get to. Once we've done that, the next stage then will be to allow it to cool. Yeah. We will probably allow it to cool overnight because it's getting on late in the day again, unfortunately. Let it cool overnight. We'll then retorque the cylinder head. We do not slacken the cylinder head nuts to retorque them. We only torque them. Yeah, we don't slacken them and then retorque them. We'll then whip through the tappets to make sure that they're all okay, because again, things settle. You know, you're pulling the head down just a touch, it will alter those things. Then, and only then, will we put coolant in it. Once we've got the coolant in it, then we'll run it up for 20 minutes at 2000 RPM plus. So in between 2000 and 2400-ish RPM, not below 2000 RPM. But that's a brief outline. We'll cover it off in more detail as we do it. Let's get stuck into it and see if we can get it to run. So, just check. Yep, our pump is running, lovely. So that should be filling our float bowl up. Ignition on. Let's see what we've got. A little bit of timing. And this is what I mean about on the fly adjustments. So there we go. That is now hot enough. I can just hold my hand on there just a little bit. And it is 75 degrees. So that's about as hot as you need it to get. Yeah. Timing spot on now. I've set that up, so that's absolutely fine. We can now get a vacuum lead connected to it. So I'll leave the timing now where it is for the initial run. Once it's been up and running for a little bit longer, obviously we'll tweak it and we'll tweak the fueling. But we'll show you that in a bit more detail. But that is first startup, head gasket settling, done. Allow that to cool now. We'll come back to you with the next stage in just a short while for you, in another day for us. See you in a bit. Okay, so here we are, back following day now. Freezing over here, I must admit. We've allowed this to cool now overnight. What we're going to do now is retorque the head, whip through the tappets. I'll just show you how we retorque the head. I'm not going to bore you with how to do the tappets. If you don't know, and that is something that you would like to see a video on in the future, drop us a comment and let us know. More than happy to do things like that, as we've always said. So all I've done here now is I've just whipped the plugs out. So obviously I'm ready to turn it over to do the tappets. First things first, retorque the cylinder head. So this is stone cold, following on, no coolant in it or anything yet. Haven't touched it apart from taking the plugs out. And take the rock cover off, obviously. So we got ARP studs in this one of the 11 stud flavor. So the usual 9 studs need to be torqued to 63 Newton meters. And then I torque the outer 2 to 35 Newton meters, which is the same as the rocker pedestal studs for the ARP setup. So basically the usual 9 at 63, and then right across that line through the center at 35 Newton meters. Okay, so as I said before, we don't slacken. We literally just check torque. And you hopefully could see that that did move and torque. Absolutely no need, in my eyes, to go slackening to retorque. Okay, so usual sequence applies. Start in the very center and around in a big circle to the outside. So that one's done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah. Just whip over them again. Oh, clickety click. Hopefully the video picked up that they did all pull down. I'll just back that off now to our 35. 35. So 35 for these end 2. 1, 2. Swap the socket, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's it. That is it. Cylinder head retorqued. So, next thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to shoot the video on that. I'm going to get on with doing the tappets. We'll get all of this box back together. Once it's back together, we'll crack on with our first 20 minutes fire up. Backing them in. Just thought, just done the tappets. So, just thought I would put this quick little snippet in. That's actually the plugs that we took out. Hopefully you can see there, they're just starting to colour up. I know it was only running a couple of minutes yesterday, but that's a good indicator that everything is fairly safe with the mixture at the minute. So We'll get those back in. We'll get some coolant in it. And we'll go for the full 20. Watch your space. Ready to go. Coolant's in it. Whip through the tappets. A few of them are tightened up, as we usually find when we retorque the head. We're all rigged back up now. Timing light's back on it. Lambda sensor is back on it, or Innovate. We are going to fire this up, let it find its feet for a little bit, get it up to 2000 RPM, let us sit there. In that period, we'll be monitoring the mixture, making sure that's all okay. Once it's found its feet and warmed right through, then obviously I'm not going to be doing a lot of talking for a change, most of you might say. I'm going to be doing lots of looking, checking for leaks, checking for noises, all that sort of thing. Interesting fact about noises. Notice that for some reason our microphone setup cuts some of the engine noise. So it almost does it like noise cancelling. So you might not hear how the engine actually sounds. So apologies for that. Looks to be a microphone issue, that, rather than anything else. But yeah, that's where we're at. So this is now cold start. We'll fire it up. Let's crack on. Let's see what we got. So that's 2,100 RPM, and we are running at 0.97, 0.98 lambda there on a mixture. So I think what we'll do there, to save you getting bored of watching me buzz around, we'll come back in about 20 minutes or so and let you know how we're getting on. Okay, so there we go. All done. 20 minutes camshaft break-in procedure, all finished. We did try and film a little bit of time lapse there for you, so hopefully that'll come out in the video. But if it doesn't, that's it. We've done our 20. We did it in 2 stints of 10 on this one because we actually sprung a water leak coming from the reducer on the bottom hose to the heater hose. That's all that was. But just shut it down, sorted out the leak. It was only a Jubilee clip tightening up job. That was all good. And then we did another 10 minutes. It's about eyes and ears, monitoring, making sure everything's okay, checking for leaks, all of that sort of thing. No issue at all with you shutting down the engine and restarting. If you find a leak or there's a noise you're not happy with, you need to investigate something, shut it down, count the time, start again, and pick up where you left off. So, as I say, this one went in 2 stints of 10. She's now all tickety-boo. I'm going to allow this to cool now overnight, and then tomorrow we'll do a cold startup on it, and I'm just going to verify the all-in timing, and I'll just make sure that the mixture is sensible as well for the customer to have it back and install it. The other thing that I'll do as well tomorrow is run it through the gears, which we can do on our test bed. So all good. There we go. That's it. We got there in the end. It's been a mammoth task for us to get this one done with disturbances and one thing and another. Hopefully you found that of some use. Please do feel free to leave us a comment if there's anything you think we've missed or there's something you'd like more detail on, or as we always say, if there's something you'd like a video on in the future. So thanks very much for watching. Hopefully we'll see you very soon with some more content. Cheers.